Okay, so we've identified how to establish boundaries with our primary partner. Now let's think about how to establish boundaries with our family and friends. These ones can be tough because family and friends are people that are close enough to be in your inner circle, but not close enough to be in your household. They're generally people that have your best interests at heart and vice versa. And so personal boundary with friends and family, number one, respecting personal space. This allows you to spend time to yourself and to your partner and not dedicate all of your time to one particular person. A way that you would maintain that boundary is when somebody asks you to go to an event and you're actually not that interested. It doesn't really sound like it's up your alley. Instead of saying yes because it sounds like fun to them or you want them to be happy, tell them no. Say, I really appreciate the offer, but I don't think that that's a good fit for me, or I really don't have time that day. I would really prefer to do something different. Communicate why you're not interested. That way, whenever they go to ask you to go to something with them again in the future, they know whether or not you have any interest in that event, or if perhaps this time was just due to something else going on. Also, you don't want somebody to be trying to gain something from you. One way that I find this boundary to be broken the most is when somebody wants to gain something from you, say your status or a friendship or somebody that they want to buy specific things from. They'll stick around or they'll start messaging you more whenever the time is opportune. That is somebody that is not respecting you as a person or your personal space, and they are trying to use you to get to something else for their benefit. And establish a boundary that you are only available during X, Y, and Z time frame, or communicate what you expect out of that relationship and ask them, what are they trying to gain? Be upfront. I found that clear as kind in every scenario. That one not excluded. Okay, so my second major boundary is honesty and trust. I have a very firm commitment to be as honest and open and clear with my friends and family as I possibly can be. I have found that it is easier to be an open book than it is to try to hide or manipulate or minimize. When somebody tells me something that they know is a lie, I immediately don't trust them anymore. It only takes one time. It doesn't take twice. It doesn't take 3 times. It takes one time. If there is malicious intent, it takes one time. Now, if it was an accident, it happens. People don't know everything. I don't know everything. I might say one thing and really believe it to be true, and it's not necessarily the case. That's not malicious intent, right? That has good intent behind it. If it's malicious and somebody is telling you something because they want you to believe one story when the story is actually not that, that's when I would say cut the cord. It's no longer worth your time or energy to try to maintain a friendship with somebody who's not being completely truthful with you. Okay, so my final major boundary that I set with my friends and family is an emotional allowance. At a certain point, you have to know when to cut the cord and say that I've had too much. You have to pay attention to whether or not they are a support system or they're a drain. If that relationship is constantly just you taking in their trauma dumps or constantly being a punching bag for them to vent their stresses and their frustrations out, then they're not really treating you like a good friend. You want to make sure that you give them an appropriate allowance of what you find acceptable and what you would want in return. It's like the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want to have done unto you. If it makes you uncomfortable, don't do that to somebody else. If it's too far in your opinion, it's probably too far in their opinion too. So just don't let them use you. Don't let them walk all over you. And don't do that back. If you want to maintain and build a good friendship, don't do that to them. These boundaries are more than just establishing a day-to-day cadence. It helps you maintain your individuality, enhances your relationships, it enhances your communication. You have clear expectations of each other. Acknowledge, respect, and celebrate your lifestyle differences. Don't try to control each other. Allow each other to flourish. Boost each other up. And if you can't do that, keep it to yourself and move on.